San Hollow in Hurricane, Utah for Trail Hero 2023.
This is our second year Trail Hero in San Hollow. I love that everything is right here at the park. Everything's close.
It's beautiful out here. The wheeling is great.
We just have a great time here.
Jeep's looking great, man. You got everything from stock builds to buggies.
Trail Hero is one of those things that I just can't miss it. I love San Hollow, Hurricane, and everything that it brings. Getting to see my team, they're like my second family, and so it's like super stoked to get to hang out with everybody and spend time with them again.
I stepped into a massive renovation of my house, and July was really the last place that I could actually make myself available. And beyond that, it's been planning and timing and trying to get my engine in and start the swap on the old bombshell.
By the way, that's a friend ender. When the motor goes in, we are not friends anymore.
I live in Florida. I guess I grew up wheeling in El Paso, Texas, in the deserts of New Mexico, which is kind of slick, but still grip. But here, it's grip for days. You just have to have the right articulation suspension for almost everything. Super easy.
Day one, what was day one? Day one was joint effort. So this was my first time ever getting on. Yeah, I was excited about getting to, because I parked at the bottom of it last time, and so getting there and being like locked and loaded, ready to go, I was pretty excited about that. And right out of the gate, just kind of started to get these almost zigzags right out of the gate, which I really liked.
Stop! I've noticed a lot of you are not subscribed to the channel. We are going to be giving away a free shirt in every video this year. This is one of the new shirts we're giving away on the Great American Crawl at every stop. We've also got these and a bunch of other apparel we're launching. We're going to be grabbing one thing out of our store at random and sending it out to one of you who have subscribed to the channel. Like, subscribe, leave a comment below that you have and what your shirt size is, and it could be you. We're going to pin your comment to the top, whoever we pick, and then you're going to be getting a pretty cool piece of clothing. Enjoy the video.
I haven't had as much seat time. I was like, all right, we're just jumping into the deep end here. I got to figure this out. I haven't been, I'm not like at my normal like comfort level here. And, but you know what? It's just like riding a bike, man. I got in that seat, started rocking and rolling, and everything felt really good. The car felt good. And getting on that more technical stuff was pretty rad. And I mean, the grip here, there's the sand, but it's still like, it's that Utah slick rock, sandy, it's got some bite there. So tires were working great and biting, and it made up for all my shortcomings in my driving.
It's all wheel placement. You use your rocker sliders a lot on that and pivot around rocks. I'd much rather be off camber on rocks out here than I had on like the ledges or something like that on the backside where you got a 100-foot, 200-foot fall below. If you tip over here on joint effort or any of those, you're going to kind of lay over on the side, but you're not going anywhere.
You know, I've just heard a lot of intimidating stories about how hard it is. Now, we didn't finish it, and that was probably the harder part of it, but just showing up that morning and putting wheels on it, it was not as intimidating as I led myself to be.
scared me because I do not like the off camber.
And I knew you wouldn't like that.
No, I think that was the first time I've been off camber that much without him being in the rig. That was scary, but again, thankful for a great spotter to guide me to where I need to get to.
Her husband Cam comes up to me, he's like, I need you to spot Danielle through this. And that was like immediately like, ooh, that's a lot of responsibility because he has a really nice car. Straight ahead, bump.
I was scared. That I felt that wheel coming up and I did not like that feeling at all. I did still feel safe inside the rig, but I don't like that shaking inside.
So we went ahead and tackled that, she did really well. Jumping into it, not having the experience, and then going straight into something like joint effort is like, that's a tall task.
It was easy. It wasn't that difficult at all. You go, wishy-washy back and forth, the suspension. I was worried because I just had a bracket brake, and I was worried about my drive shaft rubbing, but after going through the entire thing, it was pretty easy and nothing was rubbing, so I was pretty happy. And once again, grip for days. You just let it eat.
Your car's telling you what it wants, and so like you don't give up on it, right? Because it's kind of, if you feel it kind of, you start to go in, oh, it kind of likes that way, right? This way is giving me nothing now, and so okay, let's give me a little bit more, and how much progress do I get? And then that kind of holds up. Okay, well, I'm gonna head back and see what it finds there, and the car's telling you everything.
I'm gonna automatically kick if I go back. Woo, that's light. How's the rear look? Tyler, how's the rear? Straight. Straight in the rear.
fix it?
No.
Oh.
Andy had some problems. You're gonna need to narrow down the Andy had problems.
That's kind of a broad spectrum statement.
I love you, Andy. I had to do it.
Given everything that happened,
But you're gonna have to narrow that down just a little bit, Daddy.
Yeah.
Andy had some problems.
Little pinhole in the radiator. We're good. Gonna mix up a steel stick. Give it about 5-10 minutes. Fill it back up. No problems.
Everybody thought I was joking, I
reaching in
guess,
your back
but
pocket.
I was like,
Dug deep.
anybody got eggs or egg whites? I have been in this situation before, and so I've actually seen it work. Is if you have a crack or pinhole, don't put the yolk in there, just the whites. Put that in your radiator, and the temperature of the water boils it, and it will find that pinhole, and it will, and you're good to go. That is a like old school trail trick.
Great way to get off the
fix
trail.
that will get you off the trail. Nobody had egg whites, but I did have some steel stick stuff, so we went ahead and crammed that in the area. Didn't seal it perfectly. It was still leaking, but it was enough to get them off the trail.
This is the most I've driven up any obstacles at a time. Usually I do one here and there and that's it, but this is the most I've been in the driver's seat since we've had this rig.
Yeah, you actually did a couple with no spotters.
Yeah, yes. It's definitely way different when you're in the driver's seat versus passenger. I was shocked by how easier that I thought it was. You just look out for the black lines and you go.
We were having a good time on joint, but we had to cut and run and meet up with our friends from Motobilt. And walk to the back, and I noticed like some of my aluminum, like the plates, there's like by the rear suspension, they were like buckled up. This bad boy just like started going nuclear in there and just flopping around. Took the lights out, and decided to come up and go boom and send this through the roof. And then it came over here, wham, and blew that. Blew that up. This thing was flopping around in there, just taking everything out with it. You know, it's got an eye there with the bolt hole, and it actually just ripped that right in half. Took that thing off. And so when we were banging down the dunes from me getting stuck in a hurry to go meet up with them, that thing was flopping and flexing, and so that arm was flipping up and just tearing everything apart inside that rear wheel well. Yeah. The old can do. Basically, right when we were wrapping up and just putting everything back together, boom. Motobilt guys, Dan and his crew comes showing up with that rowdy monster. Holy moly.
El Jefe.
That thing is like...
It's a monster.
Yeah, I just parked my car off to the side whenever his was around us.
Don't make her jealous.
We did the lower half of Milt, and in all honesty, all I wanted to do was get through these things and get out and get back to watch Dan like run heavy through that thing.
I will say the first obstacle, which is gatekeeper, I did on Sunday and had to pull a line, but I one-shotted it.
So last year, I went with a group and I was behind an orange Jeep, and I went to that one spot where the very entrance, and teeter-totters, and that was on my mind as soon as they said, let's do Milt Smile. I was like, oh man, that's the one. Because right in front of me, the guy flipped. And I was like, oh, and I'm next. But then some of the ground guides were like, just do it this line, and it'll be fine. So I try to remember exactly that line was. I did it. It was pretty easy. But I was still hesitant, like, oh, and I watched several of them, including Dan from Motobilt, and he got close a couple of times. So I watched a couple of them that they went too far to the right, and I went left. So it worked out. It worked out towards the end.
I almost gave up, and he asked me if I wanted to try one more time, and I'm thankful I said yes, and I made it up.
Yeah, and you just crawled right up it.
I did.
Yeah.
Apparently it was just finding the right line.
It makes it interesting. A lot of off-camber, a lot of them are turns with waterfalls going up them, stuff like that. A lot of them have dig outs at the bottom, so if your rear tire or something's in the wrong place, you get really tippy, as I did.
You did.
I made it up the gatekeeper just fine, but coming up to the second one, I almost put it on its lid, had to back out of it, hit reverse real fast, but saved it. Realigned and then walked up it, but it's just a whole array of walking up those waterfalls with the off-camber. We enjoy it. I mean, as long as you can put your tires in a line right and crawl up them. They're not that bad.
Dana sends Gary through first like a canary. He's the crash test dummy because their cars are very similar. He's like, she likes to watch what happens to his car, and then she gauges like that.
And then makes it look better.
I'm good.
It's a really different platform too to even wheel on. And it's especially through these trails out here.
When they first came out, I was like, that's an overland rig. That's not a rock crawler.
Absolutely.
And then here's
then they chopped 14 inches off the back end of it. And was like, oh, now it works.
had a solid day of wheeling. Got to check out some different trails.
You have all of this here within minutes of each other. In Utah, like you go to Moab, it's a 30-minute drive. You know, depending on where you're staying, depending on where you're gonna go, depending on what trail you're gonna do, and depending on what trail you come off of, it could be 30 minutes to get back into town. Sand Hollow is right here. That's one of the reasons that I absolutely love this place.
I love the diversity of the terrain here, in that you could go mild to wild in a heartbeat, and without working, you know, hard to make that happen, and be back in the evening, you know, in time to get showered up, have dinner, and be hanging out with your friends.
Maybe it takes one more Rockstar at the end of the day.
Dude, I drink more Rockstar on these events than I do way more when I'm at home.
Every single time, carries you like a champ.
Faulty Towers is pretty cool. I like the lines. It wasn't too difficult.
We're just kind of floating around. There's trails that we're passing across the frontage and go back to the lake, and it's like, what's this over here? Chutes and ladders, 9.
That's all fun. Yeah, we're going the easy way.
Came back to camp and we were looking for some sand dunes to hit along the way, some bowls.
When you're running the dunes, you're on the car hard, you're in the RPMs, you will heat things up for sure. Sure enough, he went into town, he went and bought some egg whites, poured that in there, sealed that thing up, and it's supposed to be a trail fix.
A trail fix.
Not like an event fix, because Andy has been running on it for days now with the egg in there.